Right, we're still back at Quartz Quadrant, which honestly still it's now that I actually look at it. Well, I mean, I was looking at it before I was playing the goddamn game, but now that I look at it, it really is just a standard fun level. Like, the gimmick itself isn't really something that's encumbering. It's just there are conveyor belts everywhere, and then the badniks are a bit more defensive.
Oh, so okay then. They're conveyor belts. That gives more context to something that happens a bit later that I was a little confused about. But no, I'm no longer confused about. That I will bring up when that happens.
Okay. Either way, uh, also you've noticed. Also, I think I've mentioned it before, but it's more apparent here. The badniks, just even though they're more defensive, they're still not as bad as certain badniks. They're for the most part. If you're in a ball and you hit a badnik, you're you're just going your way normally, and you're in a ball and you hit a badnik, you should kill that badnik.
So basically the opposite of Sonic Lost World.
Yeah, kind of.
I can talk about Sonic Lost World because I've actually played it. Not all of it, but not even a lot, but like the first 3 levels. But they're really long levels.
As I said, wait. Did you finish Frozen Factory?
I'm not sure if I got to it. I think I might have stopped at the one of the sand levels that.
Oh, in which case you don't know the meaning of long level, because Frozen Factory, oh dear,
I almost want to
it's practically
reinstall
notorious.
it just to play some later levels so that I can know what it's like.
Yeah, you weirdo. Either way, we could actually save Quartz Quadrant now because all we need is just one more time stone.
Yeah. And we
Well,
can also save this place from being trapped under the dome it's under.
yeah, it really does look like a dome. Just like with all the things moving around, it looks fine, but it's actually a dystopian city.
Yeah, or maybe it's a utopian city.
Oops!
Oh my goodness! Yeah. I will
Okay,
never
so
be
that
able to
accidentally
see
happened.
ever again. Does that say special known? No, that was lame. I was trying to make a joke about the fact that I'm blind now.
No, you're not blind. If you were to go blind, you would have already gone blind when we recorded Sonic 2. Even though you came pretty close to getting blind.
Oh, right. Yes. I actually had to stop looking at the screen.
Yeah, well, it's not my fault I have an old television.
Right.
It's funny though, because the I guess kid of the group in the house, even though, 20 years old, but whatever, have a weird old timey television that constantly fizzes. Meanwhile, my parents have huge HD TVs. Just, I'm not even so much mad because I barely watch TV anymore. If any at all, honestly, I just use it for my games. But it's one of those things in perspective. Like how I have a crappy phone and they have tablets.
I thought you
But
would say
yeah,
it was ironic that we were talking about our Sonic 2 playthrough, even though 90% sure this will be going up before it.
yeah, but let's put that as a teaser.
Yeah.
Anyways, since we couldn't save quartz quadrants, Eggman has mined out all the quartz to create the to power his machines and create the bad future.
You see, this is what I was
And
talking
has
about. These conveyor belts and the factory light motif, it was set up in the previous thing because of the conveyor belts. The only
right.
thing that got me, because I know you want to get back to your point, is the scale of this factory. Because I can buy a cave that huge, but a factory the size of this huge, expensive cave is
But we don't know
absolutely
how far in
mind.
the future the bad or good future actually is.
Yeah, but it's still just mind-boggling to think that all of that ceiling, that's like a city in the background, and then it's just meters thick steel. Well, I'm
Yeah,
assuming
but
it's thick and not
speaking of
hollow.
speaking of thick steel, apparently the steel Eggman's on isn't thick enough because as we keep running on the conveyor belt, it's actually burning away the machine he's on
What I
thanks to
found kind of
friction.
ironic, you were running on the conveyor belt and it was pulling you back, and then Eggman just ran and it was like, well, later.
Well, he was running on the other side. Was there a conveyor belt when where he was
Yeah,
there? Wait, there was?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh gosh! As I've said multiple times before, Eggman, he's the fastest thing alive. But welcome to the worst set of stages in the game.
What is this?
This is a workbench where it's it seems all fun and bouncy because the floor is some weird electrified substance that is just it's really really bouncy.
Whoa.
Yeah, this level is huge. Unfortunately, it has a terrible gimmick. They're basically forcing me into the future here because the future sign was right before the set of tubes. But the bad future, man, it's just the workbench is going all crazy. It's had terrible maintenance. There's electrical feedback everywhere. But
Is a
enough about
workbench the right way to come? I mean, factory maybe? Construction site?
it's called Wacky Workbench. So
Oh, that's weird.
the thing is though, is that this has a terrible gimmick, and you'll see. Well,
You mean
basically,
the terrible gimmick hasn't showed up already? Because I've seen so many terrible things.
well, no, as in you'll see exactly why it's terrible. Um, basically, the bouncing sends you all the way up, and in the bad future, it's almost guaranteed to send you up into some kind of hazard that you're not going to be able to see or steer clear of.
Yeah,
But
it does say it happen.
that's not even the worst thing. This this level, the Wacky Workbench levels have really choked up entry and exit points, meaning that you can only um progress the level through very specific choke points, and a lot of the times they're at the very bottom of the level. Because I just went to the top and it just sent me right back to the bottom. Like, no, go through the choke point. The problem is that if you fail if you fall off off the rotating platforms below you, or the moving platforms below you, try and go through the choke point, you'll fall on the rubber, and it will just send you all the way back up to the top as your punishment.
No, this sounds awful.
It is awful. Just it is nearly impossible to keep 50 rings in this stage. So I don't even bother. I don't. It's just so stupid. Because when I was trying to record this, I tried my after the failure with Quartz Quadrant, I tried my hardest to keep 50 rings, and I was seething at the end of my attempts. I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna get in a later level.
At least you have ample choice.
Yeah, because if to try and get the robot generator in this, I'd have to go back to the past and see about that. But yeah, the present isn't so bad, but it still has it has more points of exit than the bad future, but it still has the level design that I don't like.
What's
But
the past like?
the past is actually just like they're building the workbench, so it's a construction site, an old construction site in a canyon.
I guess I could have just waited to see.
Yep,
Cool.
just like it's more vibrant colors. It looks like just the color choices make it feel like an old computer game.
Right. Would you have 50? Oh, I guess it's too late to have 50 rings here.
Well, no. Why would you say that? I have 51 rings.
Yeah, but I mean, you needed the 50 rings in the first part or something.
Well, no, because I can remember any stage that you've passed with 50 rings, you can get the special stage in. Doesn't matter which act it is.
Oh, so it's just that Act 1 is generally considered super hard.
Yeah, super hard to keep your rings in. So Act 2, probably the same thing because I'm trying to jump out of this at the right time, by the way. Probably the same thing, but the past version of Wacky Workbench is very merciful because they haven't built most of the factory, so they actually haven't made choke points. So in the end, it's much more. It feels much more fun to play through.
It's like what the level should be.
Yes, it should. Because look, I get the bad future being giving you more challenge, or with more enemies or more hazards, but that whole choke point nonsense is garbage and should never have been in this game. It is like just the next stage that we're coming up to is a bit more ambiguous on its flaws, in my opinion. But the whole wacky workbench stuff is still just, even if the choke points weren't there, it's still annoying to just go constantly flying off every time you fall off a platform. Even though in the past you're usually still progressing despite that. In the present, there's only a chance that you're still progressing despite that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just need to overcome this challenge to finally actually get all the time stones. Which is super dangerous, and I just managed to barely skim that UFO.
You had time.
Yeah, but remember, any sort of misstep in the water and I'm practically done.
Yeah.
But yeah, finally
Is that
got
an
them all.
achievement?
Yes, it is.
Ugh. Actually, I have nothing against achievements. I don't know why that was that reaction.
I feel that's just your default reaction to something if you don't have an opinion.
That's true.
But yeah, welcome to our first good future, where the workbench has actually stopped being a weapons factory and it's now a toyland.
Okay, that's not how that works.
Yeah, that isn't. But I'm willing to run with it. It's much more child friendly and safe. It's much more vibrant and happy.
I wouldn't say safe.
Okay, I guess on a physics level
Or
it is incredibly
child-friendly.
unsafe. But still,
I would also say seizure warning.
But still, there's barely anything that can actually hurt you in the good future here. But Eggman still tried to drill it out. So this boss basically it electrifies the floor to bounce. So you have to get off the one that your gravity is weighing down and platform up.
I think I get it.
You jump on the debris. The floor electrifies to activate the bouncing,
Okay,
and then you have to platform up. It's relatively simple. It's only after like some spikes come in that it gets a bit hard. I don't know if you get. I've never actually fallen, so I don't know if you get a penalty for falling down. Okay, Eggman, this time I'll catch up to you for sure. Ah, dang it! No! Ah, man, he's already miles away.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when you let Eggman out of your sight. Those flowers, I'm sure they'll die anyways. They're in a toy factory. They're not outside.
Yeah, well, either they're magic flowers. Welcome to the stage everybody remembers, and we'll be coming back in Mania, Stardust Speedway, where basically they say, you remember that blast processing thing that we tried to market? Yeah, let's do that. Just, oh my gosh. It goes absolutely insane.
Cool, can't wait for it.
You
So
notice
this
how
is the
just,
present.
Look how much I only barely miss. I forget where I was going. I forget if it was a feature of the past. but I only barely missed where I was going at that point. But oh man, it's just crazy. But that part was a loop that you can exploit to go back to the past, which is more of a Greek city.
No, that does not make sense. So is it nope? I'm not. So is it sent up into space, or does the entire planet get destroyed around them?
What do you
Around
mean?
the Stardust Speedway was in space, right?
No, it's Stardust Speedway because the lights from the stars are very clearly seen,
Oh, I
but not in
guess.
space. See, there's still mountains and such in the background.
I guess I wasn't looking. My computer screen wasn't the best at the moment. 'Cause I
Yeah,
thought it
but
was in space, but whatever. Never
no,
mind then. So then, why
it's
is it this? I guess this is kind of disrespectful then. It takes a
disrespectful.
yeah, it takes a classic monument with history and culture and just modernizes it for no reason. You're supposed to actually no, that's not true. I guess sometimes people leave things as is, but modernizing it is also a good way to stop it from actually getting destroyed. So this is actually them respecting it. But adding all the musical instruments seems like they're facing it.
Hmm. Well, you can make a point for that, but it just something to note here. The flip panels basically they operate like in Mario World, but they're actually a thing at the stage where you need to go behind certain loops to progress.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so that's why I was stuck there for a while. I just didn't know anything about the flip panels. Either way, I don't know why those things took so long to come out, but Stardust Speedway, um, because of its nature, it generally doesn't hit you with any sort of enemies or obstacles until you're in the more slow moments, and that's how it should be.
Yeah, it's trying to be a speedway.
Either way, though, the thing is, the problem I have with Stardust Speedway, because while it does give me an adrenaline rush from going so fast, just the level design is there's so many paths in the level design that sometimes you're going left, sometimes you're going right, because general rule in Sonic, if you're going right, you're usually going the right way. In almost a rule in 2D games in general. But sometimes you go left. Look at the speed I'm reaching here. But yeah, so sometimes you go left, and so when things get a bit more complicated, you start wondering exactly what path you should go. And it's not a maze, but it doesn't reach maze proportions. But there's a certain part where I sort of, oh look, holographic generator. But yeah, there's a certain part where I get stuck, not for long, but just because I didn't take a certain path that was leading me into, it sort of caused me to go back, and I'm just like, this pack, this path back is taking a really long time. So I think it's around here, past this point, where if I just went back up and kept holding right, I would have already finished the stage. Right here, if I just went all the way back up and kept holding right, I would have finished the stage, but I just kept thinking this is more of the stage.
Right.
And really, can you blame me? It's oh right, I've actually forgot to mention. Have you noticed that you have not seen any badniks at all?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, we made an auto good future, so that means that Robotnik never had the chance to go back to make those badniks. With that's just ridiculous. But yeah, go back to make those badniks. So Sonic's basically using the power of the Time Stones to undo their existence. So every badnik you pass by automatically destroys itself.
Cool. What I'm confused about though is yeah, I'm seeing the animals right now.
Well, no, the animals are coming around because it's a good future. Remember, the badniks in this game are powered by the magical
Isn't this the
flowers,
present?
not animals.
Isn't
What
this
was
the
that?
present though?
No, this is the past.
I mean the past. So why
Yeah,
are
but I'm saying that we made a good future, so that's affecting everything.
somehow?
The thing is, the reason why there's a bad future in the first place is because Eggman went back to the past to install his robot making machine and start
So
frightening away the animals.
so
So
is this the future?
yeah, this is the good future because we're in Act 3.
So this looks less interesting than the present.
Really?
The present had all the musical instruments.
I mean, I guess.
As in, how does this?
Well, more. Maybe it's because they realize how impractical it is. Oh, it's you. Oh, you want to copy my idol pose, don't you? Well, you can't get away with that. It's time for a race. Now, the problem with the Metal Sonic race, is that he is the definition of slingshot AI. But that's actually the point. The thing is that he'll always activate an overdrive mode where he gets faster than you, but then gets slower after it runs out. So you're supposed to keep up the pace with him and try and keep ahead of him as much as you can. You see, here's the overdrive mode now. But generally this whole thing is actually not that hard, especially since there are hidden platforms that you can take sometimes if you're really speedy. But Eggman just went like at 5,000 miles per hour there.
Yeah.
Just
You
randomly. With his insta-kill laser that he never uses again.
One thing I like about Sonic CD is that the bosses seem unique.
Yeah, they really are. But, yeah, basically, in order to stop you from constantly lagging behind, Eggman is always behind you with an insta-kill laser.
Right, so if you're so far behind that you're gonna lose, the game's like, alright, whatever, just take this. And then kills you.
Well, the thing is that you technically could go... You could still win because Metal Sonic will never use the overdrive move if you're behind him. If you're behind him, he'll... Oh, by the way, I pulled off some amazing maneuvering here. But, yeah. The problem with this is that I'm trying to do the super peel out, but it stops registering. It just makes me do the jump instead. It's just like, okay, buddy, you were too good there. Let me just give Metal Sonic a fighting chance. But yeah, Metal Sonic will never do the overdrive move if you're behind him. He'll do a move where he electrifies himself, so that if you run into him, you take damage. But that also slows him down tremendously. So if you just jump over it, you can regain your lead.
Right.
At least here, while we're dodging the spikes, he's actually bursting through them, and that's slowing him down. So we managed to win because of that.
Yeah, you won by like a second.
Yeah, I didn't think I was actually going to do that. Well, nothing to see here. Let's go to the next stage. There's some invisible force preventing me from going to the next stage.
I wonder what that could be.
You know, this is going to cause problems for you in the future, Sonic. You're going to regret this decision for the rest of your life.
No, Sonic was angry at you for waiting so long. You did the look on his face.
No, it's just like, well, that's the... You literally cannot end the stage until she catches you. He is not happy.
Yeah, he looks furious.
But yeah, this will cause us... This is basically... Well, of course, he needs to save the girl. He needs to save her. But this is funny. Because usually at this point in time for characters in video games. Just like the girl is just like, oh, you need to save the girl or whatever. And Sonic's original planned girlfriend, Madonna, just was written out.
Too busy with
But
their music career.
exactly. But in Sonic CD, he's given a hyper fat girl that he really doesn't want to be around. So that's a nice subversion if you think about it.